Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another session with the older man. Yes, it's another great hot day here in Dubai. 50 degrees.
Habibi, it's 50
50
plus.
degrees
Why you not
centigrade.
come to
I think that's
Dubai?
123 degrees Fahrenheit for my American Western friends. That's hot. Yeah, but hey, let's do this. Today, we're going to go back to the Philippines. And this is something I always was curious about. I wanted to always think about how do the Filipino men think about the amount of foreigners coming into their country, taking their women. And the question was answered by our favorite Filipina P. She went out on the street to ask men this question. Now, this was a little older video, but, I wanted her to actually get her video out there. I didn't want to push it too much. But this question came up again and again because I get a lot of men who actually call me to get suggestions on what they should do as far as becoming passport bros, especially as they get older. They've been through divorces. They're no longer interested in Western women. They've been hurt. They've been jaded. And in saying that, I want to touch on this one very simple point, gentlemen. A lot of you that are on this page have not been successful in the Western hemisphere with women. And I'm talking about from as far as Italy, Belgium, Germany, Canada, the entire US, the Caribbean. I mean, men are complaining from all over the world. Okay, I've had a guy call me from bloody Alaska. Yeah, that far away. So we know that the men are moving and leaving. But there's one thing I want to touch on before we get into it. I want you guys to understand one thing. Only you can choose to stay in your misery. So many of you have gone into the comment section and you've said, no more, I give up. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. There's no way in hell I would get hurt again. And I say to you, listen, you can stay and wallow in your own crap, or you can get up, brush yourself off, and get back in the game. Because life don't owe you shit. I've done this video already. Life don't owe you shit. And so you can choose to stay in your misery, or get up and do it again. Because there is a lot of joy in having a companionship. And the bigger problem that I see is that when I do positive type videos, the viewership on these are literally like 1/4, 1/10 sometimes of my usual viewership. The amount of views I get on positive stuff versus the dark negative stuff about women, so small it's unreal. And I've realized that you guys prefer to wallow in your own juices than to actually take some positive outcome from life and just move forth. I'm telling you this as an older man. If you want to achieve any level of happiness and peace with yourself, within yourself, you got to learn to let go, man. You got to learn to let that shit go. I want you guys to watch more of my positive stuff. I did a video last night on finding a male friend in your old age. Look at the amount of views it get compared to my other videos when I'm talking about women cheating or all that crap. It's frustrating because I don't want to just keep pumping out all of this negative stuff about women, because there are some really good women in this world. And just because you actually didn't find one out of the billions of women on this earth, you get upset. And you're going to now go in your room and pout. No, I don't want any. I don't want any more. No, I got hurt. No, I'm not going to do. Man, come on, man. Come on. Life is a game, man. Get up and play. You got your knees scraped. You got your freaking sprained ankle. It doesn't matter. You get back in the game. You enjoy it. Because you blink twice, it's over. You're old, decrepit, and you're screwed. So I just want to add that in before we go on, okay? Subscribe. Come on. Give me a thumbs up on my message before we get in. Listen, I'm going to be hard on you guys, man. I'm not freaking playing around with you all. I'm here to be a mentor. I'm here to be an advisor. I'm here to help you get through life. I'm not here to coddle you. I'm not here to put women down just so that you could feel better. No, I'm going to point out the problems with women, but once you see it, now you know how to deal with it. And so now you go forth and you play the game knowing the proper rules. You protect yourself at all times. That's it. So let's go to Filipino P. Let's hear what she says. Because it seems like, as you see in the title, a lot of the Western men are going to the Philippines and taking their ugly woman. Oh, but you will see that I'm not bullshitting you through this video here, where men on the street have said, hey, yeah, you could come, you can take all of our ugly women. And of course, beauty is subjective. What these guys classify as ugly women in their country is what we classified beautiful in the West. So it all works out. Let's get into it. Let's hear what Filipino Peace has to say. I'm not going to play the full video, of course, but I'm going to play parts that are vital to what I'm trying to get across. All right?
About an increasing number of foreigners coming to our country. Are they angry that you're poaching their women, or do they welcome you as friends? Well, today I'm going to hit the streets and ask the average Filipino how they react to your presence here. Are you allies or invaders? Why do you think foreigners are coming to the Philippines?
I think most it has to be the expenses.
Expenses?
The expenses is way cheaper here. I mean, relatively speaking to other countries, especially in like Western countries. They would come here because they have pension funds, retirement, and then it would be easier to live here.
Do you think they also come here because of the women, Filipino women?
I feel like there are men who like to come here, for example, to find women, because as well, like from what I know, a lot of men think the West is like going to maybe very liberal or very, in a way, not up to their standards. So they believe they can find some like women here who have those standards. And at the same time, it's the dating pool. It's like I feel like some of them come here just to live, and then they get a girl to like keep them company and stuff.
Better than a retirement home, right?
Yeah, it's better than a retirement home, I would say, for them.
Yeah, much better than a retirement home. No man wants to sit in a bloody retirement home back in America or back in his Western country, just waiting to die, looking at Mildred and Margaret and Gertrude across the way as she melts in front of his eyes. Sure, I'd prefer to go to bloody Filipino country and look at some beautiful younger women who are interested in you. For what reason? We'll see.
Is it fairly common to see a lot of Filipina foreigner relationships?
Yeah, I would say, like when I stroll in the street,
Right.
I could see some like relationships, and it's not my place to say whether the relationship is real or not. I think maybe there are some real, there are some not.
Right.
As if any other relationship is not also like that. So
If you're gonna put a number on it, do you think Filipinos are dating them because of money? How many percent would you say that Filipinos date foreigners just for economic purposes?
there is a relatively like significant amount, but I wouldn't say it's like more than 50%. I would say maybe it's just a tad bit less than 50%.
Okay.
Like maybe I would give it like 45%.
From what you observe,
He's young. Listen, 80-90% of these women are looking for men for the wallet. Gentlemen, don't fool yourself. Women in the Philippines are just like women anywhere else when it comes to getting resources. That's it. Every female is looking for a mate for protection and provision. So please, this young man, he's still a bit ideological. He's young. But Filipino woman, like every other woman on this earth, is looking for resources, and she's looking for a man who has it. So, yes, relationships are transactional. The difference between women in the Philippines versus women in the West is that the price requested by women in the West is so damn high, it's ridiculously high. So men are saying, hell no. Hell no. That's the only difference.
foreigners that come here, do you think they're generally polite?
I feel like some of them have the tendency to feel like that because of their money or because of their status, they get to act a certain way. I've seen some foreigners try to target specifically young girls. I'm talking about like under the age of 18.
Really?
Like, out on the street, yeah, and it's
What do they do? Like, hey baby.
yes, something like that. Like
Something like that.
yeah, and it's,
Okay.
because they feel like because of their example, like their wealth, there could be some exploitation as well. Yeah. There's some like really sad cases sometimes. and-
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying all foreigner men do it, but there is a portion of them that do it, and it might be significant, I think.
Do you think having a lot of foreigners in the Philippines is a good thing for us, for the country, for the Filipino people?
as much as I think maybe like there could be some cases that are bad, like we mentioned earlier, like maybe cases of pedophilia.
Yeah.
They've also helped contribute to the economy.
Right.
I mean, they bring their money from the U.S. to our country, so they're bringing more money in. So in a way, they have a net positive, but I'm not sure if that's enough. I'm not sure how to.
He hasn't thought this through significantly. I come from the Cayman Islands, and right now, I can't even afford to go back there to live in any sort of way that I get to live here in Dubai. And Dubai isn't cheap. It's not a third world country. But at least I have the choice to live either on the lower end, middle, or upper, and then extreme upper. So I get to live a nice middle class life right now, which is the equivalent of upper middle class anywhere else in the Western Hemisphere. And so I enjoy a lot without actually paying a lot for it. However, the same lifestyle, if I was to try to go back to Cayman to live, would be almost double the amount of money I would have to make to get the same lifestyle with me and my family. So, but what has caused this is the massive influx of foreigners who have came in and took advantage of the Cayman Islands being a tax haven. It's a Caribbean island. It's warm. It's relatively safe. Lifestyle is great. It's just relaxing and calm and peaceful. So what happens is when demand increases and there's not enough supply, you're going to get price increases. Now, for the foreigners who are coming in, who are extremely wealthy, it's not a big issue for them. They can pay for it. But the locals now, they're the one that pays the price. And the same thing that's going to happen in the Philippines. As more and more foreigners come in and buy property, and the property prices start going up, and everything starts to rise because demand is there. The poor locals who are just making local currency, their wages aren't going to keep up with the foreigners. It'll never be as high as the foreigners who are making US dollars and bringing it into the country. They're going to feel the pain. They're going to pay the price. And this is what this young man have not seen. I just thought I'd point this out to you guys because I'm now hearing stories that prices in the Philippines are actually rising in certain areas where a lot of people who have gone there to live from overseas are relocating and the prices are going up significantly.
Do you resent foreigners who date Filipinas?
No, not really, no.
Do you think they're stealing our women?
Nah, I don't think so.
Do you think there's enough Filipinas for everybody?
There's this controversial issue that I'm aware of. Filipino women's after rich foreigners because of something like that.
Okay.
But I don't think that would be the case. They must have had a mutual understanding for them to come into a relationship. So I don't think that's kind of they're stealing our women or something like that. Imagine that it's something like a relationship.
What do foreigners go after?
Well, that's actually funny because I would say that foreigners tend to go for the exotic beauties.
Oh, exotic beauty.
Everyone has their own beauty, and I like to think that these foreigners see that kind of beauty, and then I'm really happy for that. So yeah, I grew up with people saying that white skin is beautiful or something like that, but especially for foreigners, they actually tend to appreciate darker skin toned women, and I'm actually happy for that because it actually shows the different interests of the two worlds. So yeah.
Have you heard local men say that foreigners tend to chase ugly Filipinas?
I'm gonna be real. I will actually say yes. I've heard old people say that. I wouldn't. I
wouldn't call them ugly.
Yeah.
We have different beauty standards.
That's the reality of life, man. Over in the Philippines, if you have darker skin as a Filipino, you're known as ugly, right? Whereby that beautiful golden touch to the skin is what makes them exotic for men outside the country. For us, that yellow look, that pale yellow skin, where a lot of Asian women have adapted, almost looks sickly to a lot of us. So we're looking for that almost caramel look to it. And that is what we find attractive as foreigners, and especially black men and white guys as well. So funny because they look at it as unattractive and we find it attractive. So these guys don't have a problem with us taking their ugly woman. This is the world we live in, man. It's beautiful.
Comes to, beauty is subjective anyway. Do you know someone who lost a Filipina to a foreigner? Meaning to say the girl chose the foreigner instead of the local guy.
I do.
I do.
I do. A friend.
Okay, well,
actually.
a friend of yours?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
So he just said something like he was chasing this girl and then he met this foreigner guy. The foreigner guy was like really friendly and all that, and then he didn't mind it at first because he found out. I think he thinks that the guy is just really friendly with his friends. Started noticing that the foreigner guy and the girl itself was like quite a bit close na. So it was kind of like a controversial issue at the time.
Okay. So the Filipino chose the foreigner over the Filipino guy, the guy that was trying to chase this girl.
I don't know the exact details, but at the end, the girl is with the foreigner.
Okay. Your friend is resenting that guy right now. As a Filipino guy, please describe your ideal Filipina.
Oh, no, my girlfriend's gonna be mad at me, but
No worry, she's not gonna be watching this for sure.
okay. I would say that my ideal Filipina girl would be, I would say, skinny.
Okay. Is she not your girlfriend?
She used to be.
Used to be.
Oh man, doesn't matter where you go in the world, man. Fit, friendly, feminine, agreeable. Fit, gentlemen. Fit, ladies. Fit. If you're not fit, men do not want a fat chick. Yes, you will get those guys that are on the fringe. Yes, there's a lot of men who see fat women as a fetish, right? But in reality, 99% of men, regardless of the race, do not want a fat woman unless they come from a really back of the bush type mentality where fat is seen as someone who could eat. And that's where the third world mentality comes in. My former nanny that was working with me for 16 years, I remember when I first hired her, she was quite, fatter, right? And she was proud of it. She was proud of it. I'm in my fitness and I'm working out and the whole house is like this. And eventually she realized that she needed to fit in, because the girls back then, my daughters, they were like 6, 7. Tita, you're fat. Tita, you're fat. And she started to realize, okay, I'm hanging out in the neighborhood and all of the foreigners are in pretty good shape. And I'm the one looking a little bit out of shape. But in her village, she comes from the mountains in the Philippines, being fat shows that she could afford to eat. And so that was her mentality until she started to get into the mentality of getting fit. And when I got her into the fit mentality, then her whole mindset changed. Now she's maintained her weight simply by cutting 50% of the rice that she was eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All right, so let's continue. She's got another guy asking him now.
So do you resent foreigners for dating Filipinas?
I know I saw some blogs like foreigners like dating this Filipina, then the foreigner will help that Filipina's family, and so I think it's good for the Filipina. Before they go here, like they meet someone online, and that particular someone mostly in like rural
areas.
Yeah.
Okay, so mostly Filipinas in lower economic situation?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you resent them though? Is it okay to?
It's okay, but if I were to say I would resent them if they were treating the Filipino badly. Because like unlike some Filipinas who can find a good husband, like a foreigner husband, some do like beat their wives. Yeah.
Well, do you think they're stealing your women though? Do you think there's a shortage of Filipinas because they come here to date our women?
No.
No?
Yeah, because in one family, there are like 12 children and all girls like that. So getting one Filipina is not really like stealing our women. And in fact, we would want some Filipinas to date foreigners if it could help them. So it's okay to date them.
Okay.
I think the foreigners go especially for the like what's the word, like for exotic looks.
Exotic looks. Define exotic looks. I mean, describe.
Like if the Filipina has darker skin, and
Filipino guys, they think those are the kind of Filipinas who are considered ugly here in the Philippines.
Like it's appealing or like attractive to them. Then some foreigners find.
Ah, there we go again, man. Yeah, you can take our ugly girls. Yeah, we don't want the ugly girls. You can take them. Oh, funny. Bottom line is, gentlemen, your 60s and your 70s, you can still go and get a nice young 30, 35-year-old woman in the Philippines. Okay? It's there for your taking. Now, go with the mindset that you're exchanging something for something. It's a transaction, my friends. Don't think that a 30-year-old is going to be looking at you for your hot body. Okay? Don't freaking get stupid. Understand that there is a transaction taking place. But you get what you want, she gets what she wants. If she's treating you good, what do you have to worry about? Making you feel good, you're getting exactly what you want, she's taking care of you. It's better than sitting at home doing shit all. Looking out the window, what? Scrolling on the internet? Making comments online going, oh, life is hard. No! Get out there, my friends, and live. Live! You don't have a lot of time left, okay? Once you reach past 50, make sure you start living well, my friends, okay?
Do I have like the exotic features?
And no.
No?
Yeah.
You said darker skin. One
Like,
of those.
different.
One of those, okay. If foreigners come here to date Filipinas, why don't they just stay in their home country and date their own women?
I think that kind of foreigners like have a particular taste in like Asians.
Ah,
Yeah, they
have an acquired taste
yeah,
for Asians?
They like petite and tan girls.
Can't they find them in their own countries?
Maybe not as much in here because like there are some Filipinas in like America or
Okay.
like Canada, but not as many here in the Philippines.
Ah, okay, so they have to come here if
Yeah.
they want someone who's petite and tan skin.
Yeah, and
Okay.
and if they date here, they can particularly like save much because like
Why? Because we're cheap?
our country is so cheap.
In general, are foreigners polite or rude?
It depends.
Guys, when you go into another man's country, you have respect for him. Yeah, you're in his house. Be respectful. You can't look down on another man because he makes less money than you, then take his woman. That's the height of disrespect, man. Okay, you go into another man's country, live by his rules, understand his rules, understand the people. You got to learn to change once you move into another man's house. Okay, it's my 2 cents.
It depends on the country.
It depends on the country, okay?
Yeah, like my dad is a seafarer. And
Okay.
he always say that like Germans are like mostly rude, and Russians are also mostly rude.
How about Canucks? Canadians, have you did you hear?
I think my dad says that Canadians are like are quite nice.
Quite nice.
Yeah.
Do you think having foreigners here in the Philippines is a good thing for our country and for our people?
I think so, yes, because they bring in dollars, which
bring in
can help
dollars?
our economy, and like they can also help our people who are living in poverty.
How?
Like they can.
Are they
give-
just handing their money?
I know. Like,
No?
Like they are exchanging their money for love, especially like the older foreigners. They go for young Filipinas. Mm-hmm. Then
So do you think it's a transactional? It's like buying their love?
I don't know because but I do know some Filipinas that like at first they go for the foreigners' money, but like in the later on in their relationship they find love. Because that happened to one of our family friend. Like they have 40 years age difference and
40 years?
Yes.
How old was the guy?
now he's 74. Then
And the woman?
is like 30 or
Something like that?
yeah,
30 and 70?
34 I think, or 33.
And then
They
at
have
first,
3 kids.
3
already.
kids already? But at first it was only about the money?
Yeah, because
How did you guys know? Did you say like, did she tell
because
you?
she and my mother and their friends were talking about like love lives. Then she told
was-
that yeah, and the foreigner was there. Then the
Were they
foreigner
talking in Bisaya?
the foreigner can understand Bisaya na because he's been here like for so long, and the foreigner just laughed it out. Then
Was he okay with that, knowing that his wife is just with him at first because of money?
Yeah, because I think he liked the later part of their relationship since they're together now in love.
I mean, for those of you ladies that would look at that as, see, I told you, those women just want you for your money. Like I said earlier, every woman wants you for your resources. Money, resources, it's the same thing. Whether it's the house, the car, the jewelry, it's all money. In the end, it's just money. Every single woman gonna want a man for his money. Now, if that is the initial hook, the bait to get the woman, gentlemen, by all means, use it. But note that if you start with the money, you're going to probably end up having to fulfill an expectation. The idea behind hooking a woman is making her know, hey, I got it. I can take care of you, but I'm not stupid. I am not stupid enough to make you take it from me. I will make sure that I will provide you with a reasonable lifestyle where we both enjoy my money. But don't think that I'm stupid enough to make you take it from me. I'm not going to buy you a house. I'm not going to buy a house and put it in your name because that's the only way you can buy a house and land in the Philippines. I'm going to buy a villa and it's going to be in my name or it's going to be in a trust. In the event I need to move, get out, I can easily sell that trust, that LLC with that apartment or villa. You get shit all. But when you're with me, you're going to enjoy that lifestyle. So, gentlemen, as long as you protect yourself, you'll be okay. But please, don't ever think that, oh, she loves me for me. No, dude, no. You're 60, 65. She's 30. You better be coming with something else besides your gray beard, your gray hair, and your pot belly, my friend. That's the reality of life. I like to deal with reality on this podcast. Let's watch a little bit more.
Do you resent foreigners who come here and date Filipino women?
Actually, I would be lying if I said no. I realized a lot of foreigners, even if they're older, they can easily get Filipina girls.
Oh, how old? Age gap. Let's say a foreigner in his 60s. How young can,
20, 30 gate.
Okay. Do you think it's normal?
Personally, not really.
Okay.
But at the same time, who am I to judge?
But do you think it's because of love or money?
That's very hard to say, but I could say both, actually. Just a personal opinion, it's maybe they would start off because it's a foreigner or they're different from Filipino, etc. And of course, usually when you're foreigner, they tend to think that you have more money. But then maybe later on, while they get to know each other, that's where they start falling in love.
Okay.
But of course, it's not always the situation. There are times it's just for money, and there are times it's actually for love too. So it really always just depends.
So, do you think
I also think that part of this is that men have been beaten up so bad in the West to think that they're nothing, that they don't understand their value even when they leave outside the country. And the mere fact that a medium ugly girl, I'm just using that term just to clarify it, finds them attractive and going for them, they're like, holy crap, I don't get this back home. I'm going to hold on to this one. And all the people and all the men are going, dude, you could do a lot better. You could do a lot better. But the men are happy with what they get. Why not? If you are happy with that medium ugly girl, then why the hell would you even go for anything any higher? Bottom line is, find your level, my friends. Find your level of happiness and then work from there. Okay? But it is interesting what he just said. All right, we're going to listen to one more guy.
So, Migo, why do you think foreigners are coming to the Philippines?
I think foreigners come here to the Philippines, experience new cultures and everything. So it's here in Dumaguete. Dumaguete is known as a retirement place for many people, especially for foreigners. I could say also the food here, because the food here in Dumaguete is really, really good.
What about women?
That is also, I can consider that another factor as to why foreigners come here.
Are you okay with that they're dating our women? Do you resent them that they're dating our Filipino sisters?
I don't resent them in any way lang.
Okay, no? You're okay with that?
I'm cool. Some Filipinas just date foreigners for their money.
Okay. That was my next question. Do you think Filipinos who date foreigners, are they only after his money, or is there love in there?
I guess there is some love involved, but
some. Just some.
There's like love involved.
Okay.
Pero at the same time, they usually meet online. When they like meet personally,
Oh.
then that's the time where like Filipinas can start being like greedy and all.
Ah, okay,
Or like
so
money.
Filipinos tend
Yeah.
to be greedy. Okay. Why did they come here to date? A question of a few minor differences. The message was pretty clear. Filipino men do not resent your dating their women, and they rarely see you as competition because in their eyes, you often choose women that don't meet the beauty standards here. They wonder why you're attracted to the women you pick, but realize that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. While they tend to believe that the initial reason Filipinas date you is often financially motivated, they admit that in the end, it's all about the love. And as long as you come here with good intentions, they welcome you as friends.
Yes, you have to look out for the old bait and switch. She's nice right up front, but then when you start to see her sucking you more and more slowly, the professional ones will do it slow, okay? You wouldn't even know that you're giving more and more and more until it's too late. Or she'll be an amateur and she literally just ask you straight out, which is rare, which is very rare. Filipino women tend to be a lot more tactful, and a lot more humble in the way they ask for things. But when they get familiar with you and they feel that they're entitled, yeah, it gets ugly. I've seen them. I've seen some of them here, man. Woo! Yeah. So guys, listen, I'm going to lock it off there. Of course, you guys should know the Filipina Peas channel. Go over there and support her as well. But I just want you guys to always remember there are choices out there, my friend. Choices all over the world. I'm going to start bringing you some other videos from around the world. I have 2 Colombian girls here in Dubai. Beautiful, that I would love to get them on the show to talk about this. So look forward to that coming up. All right, guys. So listen, subscribe if you haven't already. Go over to askanolderman.com. Book a session if you have any problems that you'd like an older man to help you out with. Of course, join our community. We're starting to grow. I'm starting to get it up and running. So be patient and so work with me as I start to build an amazing community from around the world. Hopefully I can get all of you together, like-minded people from all over the world where you guys can start to communicate in one space. So my friends, until next time, remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.